There is no bigger oxymoron in the world of entertainment than reality television. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. The genie's out of the bottle on this one. The horse has left the barn, the ink is dry. Reality television shows, especially those that are centered around interpersonal drama, tend to be facetious. Your favorite hilariously bad American Idol audition may have been staged, and your favorite restaurant that Gordon Ramsay supposedly helped on Kitchen Nightmares is statistically likely to have closed shortly thereafter. It is a known fact that these shows twist and warp footage to fit a pre-planned narrative.
I could not believe what they'd done. They switched my answers around. The answers that you see are not the answers that I gave to the questions that they asked.
Case in point, here's a clip from Hell's Kitchen that haunts my nightmares.
Danny's ego is getting the better of him and he needs to come back down to this planet.
Yeah, so, he was clearly just moving that chair, but because the editors wanted to convey him as angry and out of control, they added a shake effect and a sound to try to make it seem like he threw it. These shows are going to be the death of me. And we haven't even gotten into how some of these shows treat their contestants like cattle.
They are in control of every element of your life. You're put in a hotel room and you don't have a key. You don't have access to water unless you want to drink it out of the faucet or the shower.
But despite the fact that many of these shows are quite objectionable once you take a peek behind the curtain, they're only picking up steam. One of the biggest shows last year was Beast Games, yet another show with some questionable ethics behind it. The current president of the United States is a former reality TV star, and the cast and crew of that show do not have kind things to say about him. And the reason these shows keep getting made is because people won't stop watching them. And you know what the worst part is? I can't even say that I blame them, because these shows are damn entertaining. They're the television equivalent of potato chips. You know you shouldn't indulge, but sometimes you've had a long day and you just can't help yourself. The glossy sheen of these shows can frequently distract viewers from just how bullshit they are. It's important to remember that the way people are characterized on these shows have real-world consequences for them, especially when they don't have a platform of their own to set the record straight. Here's a quote from a former Hell's Kitchen contestant.
Production would come in and mess with ingredients, swap out your salt and sugar, so people would look like complete fucking assholes. I didn't get my period for 6 weeks after I left. My doctor said it was stress. I became borderline suicidal after the show.
So keeping in mind that most people seem to be aware of everything we've covered today about reality television, what continues to draw people to it? And if these shows dropped all pretenses of being reality and marketed themselves as fully scripted shows performed by actors, would anybody still watch them? Honestly, I seriously doubt it. In fact, that's not just a hunch. There's data to back that up.
And if I'd found out halfway through that Survivor was scripted, I wouldn't have any interest in watching it. It's kind of like finding out that Milli Vanilli was lip-syncing. Why buy their records?
People want to believe that what they're seeing is real, because that's what gives it meaning. Otherwise, you're just left with some repetitive, formulaic, and poorly shot theater. Now, that doesn't mean that people aren't aware that what they're watching may be manipulated. The study I just cited delves into how viewers may be aware of paradoxes in what they're watching, and yet it doesn't affect their enjoyment. Some people claim that they only watch these shows ironically, yet they still get enveloped in the show's storyline all the same. Viewers who profess to hate a certain contestant ultimately still admitted the show would be worse if they weren't there because, well, every story needs a villain. Most are aware that reality television blends reality with fiction, but choosing to ignore this distinction and take everything you're seeing at face value makes the viewing experience more fun. It's nice to believe that the outcome of the challenges you're watching were truly merit-based as opposed to being decided ahead of time by producers, even if that nagging voice in the back of your head tells you it's probably not true. It's nice to believe that the asshole contestant that everyone on the show hated is actually an asshole and deserved it, because the alternative, that they were bullied and mischaracterized for your entertainment, is a lot less pleasant to think about. And I fear that in the age of AI, when it becomes more and more difficult to discern what's real from what isn't, it'll be easier than ever for these sorts of shows to pull the wool over a viewer's eyes. There won't always be a visible string and frame to let you know when something isn't real. Ultimately, I think viewers do a lot of the producer's work for them in terms of making the unbelievable believable. We love seeing people who've been labeled bad guys get eviscerated not only in the entertainment we watch, but in real life as well, whether or not they may actually deserve it. Us humans are suckers for narratives, and we love clearly defined good guys and bad guys, because at the end of the day, we just want to be entertained. You know that video you just watched? Well, guess what? It was actually a snippet from a larger video that you can watch here, if you have the time. I mean, I guess it's up to you. I would recommend you watch it, but you know, it's your call. I mean, I don't have time to wait on you anyways. I got birds to feed. But please watch it.